This is Things You Might Not Have Heard, and I am Jay Cleveland Payne, and in the queue today, 10 stories from the past weekend, a few days ago, you've edited as conversational, covering politics, information, current events, and pop culture news. Featuring today Joe Biden, yes, Joe Biden, Kanye West, yes, Kanye West, Pamela Anderson, and a few others. We'll explain the vetting process in just a bit, and of course, get some fun today things at the end of the show, so stay tuned for the whole entire shebang. You're going to want to get that. Our This is a conversationproject.com. More information about the full offerings of the Conversation Project. And of course, visit us at the email provider of your choice to email us at our email address, which is Gmail, the conversation inbox at gmail.com. Now, we have in the queue, as we said today, 10 stories for the weekend. We'll explain how that all thing works out, but we're going to have some fun today. We're going to have some real fun today, getting back to the swing of things as Operation Chaos continues, not quite as chaotic as it is. Let's start off with headline number one for this morning. 10 to get through, so a lot of work to get into. Headline number one, the first one for this morning, reads like this. New CBS poll shows majority of voters think Biden is cognitively unfit to serve as president. Now, a recent poll reveals that 72% of the registered voters believe that President Joe Biden is cognitively unfit to serve as president. This sentiment follows the concerns raised after Biden's very recent, very bad debate performance, which many found alarming, for many other words as well. Poll reflects a growing doubts about his cognitive abilities and his campaign issues for re-election in 2024. A lot of consternation going on, lots of talk about what to do about him. And the big thing about this, which is interesting in the story, the poll is actually done, a quick poll by CBS News. We're pulling the story from Fox News because, of course, they want to jump all over this one. This is the kind of thing they want to push in their, let's call it an agenda, because it's kind of what it is. Headline for story number two. Police shoot and kill teen armed with replica handgun in upstate New York. In Ithaca, New York, police fatally shot a 13-year-old Nayam Maya after a brief foot chase on June 28, 2024. Officers believe that Mawai was carrying a handgun, but it was later identified as a replica. The incident has sparked significant community unrest and calls for accountability. New York State Attorney General is investigating the shooting, while Mawai's family, originally from Myanmar and part of the Karen ethnic minority, demands justice and transparency. The release of the body camera footage has further intensified public scrutiny and debate over police conduct in such situations. Now, this is something that we say often because of the black stuff. How is it that only seemingly African American people seem to be in these incidents? Apparently, it's other minorities as well. We will see how this one plays out in the near future, going forward to remedy these solutions. I like to call it bad policing and not so much the other thing, but the bad policing is making it seem more like the other thing. Number three, headline. Judge orders jury to keep deliberating after it fails to reach a unanimous verdict in murder trial of Karen Reed. In the Karen Reed murder trial, the judge has ordered a jury to continue deliberating after they failed to reach a unanimous verdict. Karen Reed is a former adjunct professor at Bentley College, is accused of second-degree murder, vehicle manslaughter while intoxicated, and leaving the scene of a collision that resulted in the death of her boyfriend, Boston police officer John O'Keefe, in January of 2022. Reed has pleaded not guilty to all the charges in the case, and the case drawn significant attention due to the messy investigation and the defense's claims there were flaws in the prosecution's evidence and the witness's testimony. What they're trying to do is get her off the case, which is what your lawyer wants to do. It's a big profile case going on that a lot of people are really, really getting into. This will be a big true crime bestseller for a while. And in the real time, it's a big crime that just needs to be resolved. The headline for story number 4 this morning. LeBron James opts out of $51.4 million contract with the Lakers days after team drafted his son Bronny to become a free agent. This is an interesting one. Free agents at the moment, LeBron James has opted out of his contract with the Los Angeles Angels, Lakers, but plans to re-sign with the team, Angels. By entering the free agency, James can negotiate a new deal potentially worth up to $162 million over 3 years. The decision allows him flexibility in securing a more lucrative contract while continuing his trend of being a Laker. James' move is part of the strategy to maximize his earning potential and maintain control of his career trajectory as he remains a central figure in NBA. Now, a lot of stories and innuendo going in this one. Some big stories where they wanted to sign some big names like James Harden. He already signed someplace else, so he's not available. But one of the big things was he could take a little bit less money to sign bigger names. Also, try to make that big bank in his last final years, which is speculation, because now that he's playing alongside his son, or should be playing alongside his son, he was drafted last week. We'll see how this all plays out. Congratulations to the crew of the Lakers. And like I said, he's not going anywhere. He's going to stay with the Lakers. He's not going to Portland. He's not going to Boston. That's not happening. But with the chance to renegotiate his contract, make a little bit more money or a little less to bring in some bigger players so they can win this season. Last season, a bit of disappointment because LeBron James is essentially running out of time. Rumors of his retirement have been abound for a bunch. He gets a chance to play alongside his son now that he's drafted. We'll see how that works. But that means he's that step closer to getting out of the game, which he's still in a good prime shape, if you will. But, at a young age, a lot of things he can do, and a lot of things he's doing. It might be the thing to do is go off and maybe he'll run for president. Here, the guy that's running right now, having some issues. I don't think he's 35, though, so that would be the kicker. Other than that, I don't see why we can't vote for LeBron. LeBron 2028? Let's do it. Headline, sticking with basketball for story number 5. Caitlin Clark cuts off reporters for ignoring teammate Aliyah Boston at news conference. Sticking up for your girls. During a recent news conference, Indiana Fever rookie Caitlin Clark intervened when reporters ignored her teammate Aliyah Boston. After answering 6 consecutive questions directly at her solely, Clark insisted that the reporter also address Boston, and Clark's action aimed to highlight her teammates' contributions and ensure that Boston received the recognition she deserved. This is a great moment for Caitlin Clark, who's showing ultimate team player status. She knows there's a target on her back. She knows she's kind of carrying the league right now, even if she's not carrying it by scoring all the points, which she's doing most of that, and being the best player, which is kind of good. She's carrying the league because all the attention brought into this comes a lot from her and her battles in college. And so she's trying to make sure that her teammates know, and the press knows, and the world knows, it's not all about Caitlin Clark. It's about the game and her teammates specifically. Way to go with that one, Caitlin. Now let's get to the story that's at number 6 this morning. And we have a lot of stuff going on Olympics trials, because the Olympics are happening like about 2-3 weeks. This is a story that is really focusing on the what didn't happen and what did happen. Now, the headline for this story, number 6, is Gabby Thomas wins 200 at Olympic track trials. Sha'Carri Richardson finishes in 4th. This one talks about how Gabby Thomas won the 200-meter race in the U.S. Olympic trials and got a time of 21.81 seconds. She got first place in this trial. 4th place in the 200 was Sha'Carri Richardson. Now, don't feel bad for Sha'Carri because she's also going to go to Paris. She won the 100 meters, so she's racing in that one. Didn't get a chance to run in 2 events, though. So she gets a little bit of redemption for missing out last time. Oh, the big news of the day, of course, is the fact that Simone Biles is the oldest gymnast ever to compete in the Olympics, as she made her run to come back in after her issues she had past couple years of performance. So you will see that happening. Simone Biles will probably dominate again. Definitely do very well. And we will see Gabby Thomas and Sha'Carri Richardson all running in the Olympics this year, in a couple weeks, actually. The number 7 headline for this morning. Ben Affleck moves his things out of shared mansion with Jennifer Lopez amid marriage strain. Ben Affleck has moved belongings out of his Beverly Hills mansion he shares with wife Jennifer Lopez, per sources. The couple, who married in July of 2022 after rekindling their romance, have had their share of tension going on and have actually put this mansion up for sale as part of the tension. The move has fueled speculation about the potential marital issues and possible divorce, although maybe they're upgrading or downgrading and they're just moving stuff out early. We don't really know. We get this from sources, although Lopez has been seen in Europe doing her own things and running on the tour that's not working so well, and Affleck's been seen hanging out with his kids, but also not seen with his current legal wife, Jennifer Lopez. Story number 8 this morning. Headline for this story reads like this. Redbox owner Chicken Soup for the Soul Entertainment files for Chapter 11 bankruptcy protection. Apparently, everything can't last forever, and Chicken Soup for the Soul, originally known for its book series from like 20 years ago, from forever ago, is actually the parent company that still owns Redbox, and Redboxes are out there. That parent company filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy. It was acquired, that being Redbox, by Chicken Soup in 2022, dealing with nearly $1 billion in debt. And that's the big problem with it. Not that Chicken Soup wasn't making money, but Redbox losing money hand over fist. They secured $20 million financing to help minimize things going forward, operating the management of operations right now while the process for restructuring goes down. Now, Chapter 11 won't kill the company. It was basically find a way to reduce the debt and find ways to deal with that debt and reorganize so they can keep it going for a while. I'm not sure who uses Redboxes. Literally had this conversation with someone at church about someone wanting to make DVDs. Like, I don't even own a DVD player. I don't know if I could do that. So apparently they exist. I see them outside of Walgreens, see them outside of various stores. Never seen anyone using them, though. That is sort of the kicker on these things. Let's move to the story for headline number 9. Remember, 10 stories for Monday because of the extra stories of the weekend, extra days. This one's a doozy. Paris Hilton's code switches between dumb blonde and get S done voice during congressional hearing, leaving fans astounded. Paris Hilton surprised many by switching from her well-known dumb blonde persona to a serious and assertive tone during her June 26 Congress testimony, where Hilton advocated for Stop Institutional Child Abuse Act, shared her traumatic experiences with institutional abuse. She was actually abused, molested at a boarding school as a child, and shared some of those experiences as a part of her congressional hearing testimony. The code switching moment left fans astounded and sparked discussions about Hilton's true persona and her advocacy work. Now, it's not just apparently Paris Hilton. A few days ago, we heard Ariana Grande's real voice, which doesn't sound all babyish. And of course, the fun we had with the recordings of voicemails of Gilbert Gottfried after his death, where he really sounded like this raspy, dark, deep voice guy instead of that raspy, really high, annoying pitch guy for going forward that you know from his act. It's amazing that, of course, Paris Hilton being dumb is kind of an act, and the act is played so well that she kept it going. But she's not new to advocacy at all. She's not new to any of these things. She's been doing this for a while. And so obviously they're not just putting her out there because she's famous and good looking and rich, which helped, but the fact that she can actually deliver a message, which if you watched her testimony, you would get the message pretty quickly. Let's go to our final story of the day, wrapping it up with this headline. Kanye West visits Moscow. That's all we got. Kanye West has arrived in Moscow to attend the birthday celebration of fashion designer Gosha Robchinsky. The visit has been reported by Russian media because the Russians love some Kanye, though not confirmed by U.S. sources because the Russians love some Kanye. West's presence in Russia attracted significant attention due to his high-profile status and previous controversial actions. That's all we got. Kanye West is in Russia. Not sure if he's got Comrade West yet, but Kanye is in Russia. That's all we got for there. What we got next is our teaser story of the day. And for the teaser story, this is a chance for you to help us pick our headlines. You literally pick the headlines we do every single day. And so for that teaser story, we're going to get to you this headline here. And there are a couple we can choose from, but this is one that kind of worked out the best because it's one that's been rolling my head since I saw it a few days ago. Headline reads, after 40 plus years, the woman on Duran Duran's Rio album cover has been identified. Is this one you actually care about? Because yes, it's been over 40 years since the album cover from Rio. The songs on that include, things like Hungry Like the Wolf and things like that. But the woman on the cover has been identified, and we now know. I need you to read the article so you know what's more about this and engage in it so that you can tell us we're talking about this. Now, how do we get the stories on the screen for you every day, single day? Simple. You engage in stories we put in our teasers on our Facebook and our X pages. Facebook.com/This Is Conversation Project. Find us on Facebook, even though we're not streaming on Facebook, oddly enough, on at least that page. And for your X lovers, it says Twitter in a crawl. We're going to change that in a few days. X.com/th_conversation. Every 50 minutes or so, we post a new news article that you want you to engage in, and just engage in it. Like it, love it, hate it, share it. The more engagement you give to a story, the better chance to have a talk about it. Today, I'll give you 10 stories from the top 30 of the weekend. The rest of the week, we'll give you 8 stories, top 15 of the day, and you give us a shot to do from what to go for. You give us a shot to get that first shot. Get that first shot in by engaging in the headlines we have out here. Now, this is the chance where we get to actually promote ourselves directly, and this comes from our Spotlight sponsors. Today's Spotlight sponsor is one I truly love. It is the Blinkist app, and the Blinkist app can allow you to do so many great things. The biggest thing is get some knowledge on, get some learning on, because you get to read more books, faster books, and actually bigger books really, really quickly. Now, what Blinkist does, it takes the essence of the books, the real points of it. I mean, one thing I talked about when I started writing books, I couldn't figure out how to write books, was how much sort of fluff was there, how many just extra stuff was there to make the pages bigger. And so I started writing books with less fluff, so they may not be as popular, but they're books. They do exist. Blinkist basically does that and makes it even supercharged by taking the essence of the books you're looking for, nonfiction and autobiographies, and turns those essences into blinks, the most important parts of the story. So a story that may be a book that may be 500 pages long, may be turned into 7, 8 blinks, and each of those blinks can be read in about a minute and a half or 2. So with that, you can read a book that might take you 5, 6 hours in about 15 minutes. Even better, audio versions of every book. So you can audiobook read it as well. And the great thing about Blinkist is if you own the app, you can share Blinkist spaces. They're great tool which allows you to listen to or read other Blinkist stories with other folks and share them and talk about them, discuss them in the Blinkist app. And only one person needs to own it. It works like that. Check it out at our link. It's an affiliate link, so it gives us a chance to shine and stick around. It is at thisistheconversationproject.com/Blinkist. This is theconversationproject.com/Blinkist, Blinkist, for more knowledge, for more information for you. Check out the Blinkist app. For more knowledge, more information about us, it's time to talk about the Conversation Project. And the Conversation Project lives online at thisistheconversationproject.com. Find out how you can be a part of the conversation and be one of our really cool sponsors, really cool partners with the Shop Partnership. And go to our website, click on the partnerships link. Now, the Conversation Project survives by doing things with your engagement. The most important thing is your engagement, you talking to us and telling us what's going on. So let us know by engaging in stories. We talked about the feeds. Email us, conversationinbox@gmail.com. Reply back to any video, any response, what's going on, and keep what's going on. So there's so many calls to action here, so there's so many things to do. Go to the website and find them all. And subscribe to the newsletter so you get the news directly to you every single weekday morning. Make sure you see some of our sponsors. Check out things on, and we'll talk about in a bit, the Big Words Project and the Daily Affirmations. We'll get those in a moment and the fun stuff as well. You can be one of our proud partners, like we have scrolling at the bottom of the screen. Those are some of our $5 partners down there, the Good Cup of Coffee's partners. We'll bring them up again in a moment because we love that after the folks have basically kept us going throughout our chaos that has been Project Chaos, Operation Chaos going forward. And we thank you so much for that. Plus, we'll give you some more ramblings on that one at the end of the show because we can cut that part off and trim it out in the post edit. Okay, so you having fun? Having a blast? Doing okay? Well, now it's time to really have fun and hopefully have a blast and really do okay, because this is the part where we transition to give you things you might ought to know for today, Monday, July 1st, 2024. This is where we bring you what we used to call the fun stuff, and it's still fun stuff, but this is where we bring you some things that, things that are pretty much out there. These aren't the news stories. These are the things that are out there that you could have picked up on the internet, but we pull them for you. You're welcome. Starting off with birthdays for this July 1st. We always start with birthdays on the things you might ought to know. Our Dan Aykroyd turning 72 years old on the day. The lovely Pamela Anderson, as you saw in the teaser graphic, wearing no more makeup, and nobody has no fault with that one. She is 57 years old, and Missy Elliott rocking it right now at 53 years old on this July the 1st. Going next to our history lessons, on this day, July 1st, back in 1963, zip codes were introduced to the United States, a way to chop up the world and chop up the states and figure out how to easily manage more mail in various places. Back when the mail was a big deal. Hard to believe it's only been since '63, and that's not that long ago. Now, only 80 years in this time of delivering stuff. Of course, post office was created by Ben Franklin, so it's always been around. But essentially, this innovation only 80 years old. Also, in 1979, the Sony Walkman was introduced. The first one in '79, played tapes, cassette tapes. Kids' cassette tapes were these little square things, the rectangle things that had reels of film in them that had magnetic strips on them that you read through the tape reader. $200 for a Walkman in 1979. And trust me, it was a big deal. Well, I didn't have one, but it was a big deal to have one at that age in '79. I was 5 at the time. Oh, no, I was 7 at the time. And I didn't have one. And by the way, in 1980, 1 year later, "O Canada" officially became the national anthem of Canada. Now, that sounds kind of odd because that's what's on the list, so we're reading it as here. Today is July the 1st, Canadian Independence Day, and we'll bring it up again in a moment. So, happy birthday, Canada. But only since 1980 has this actually been the official song. So, it seems like it's been forever, not quite forever, since I was, 6 or so when this one happened. I guess I was 5 when the Walkman was introduced. Let's talk about something new to learn, a big word from the Big Words Project. Your word of the day today is flabbergasted. You may be flabbergasted that I'm actually producing this stuff or that I can actually read sometimes. But the actual definition is to overcome with surprise and bewilderment, astound. As I said, flabbergasted. Used in an actual sentence, her steadfast commitment to her studies earned... Whoops. That's not right. Okay, well, you may be flabbergasted. I got the wrong definition of that one. We'll check that one going forward. Let's say getting back into the swing of this thing has been a bit of an issue, so we'll see what happens with that one. Let's see if I can get the next one right with a daily affirmation, because affirmations are kind of important. Today's affirmation is, my body is healthy, my mind is brilliant, my soul is tranquil. Tranquil. That's a word. This affirmation enhances overall well-being. It promotes holistic approach to health, acknowledging the importance of physical health, mental health, and spiritual well-being. Recognizing and affirming these aspects can lead to more balanced life choices and greater sense of harmony. Find out more about affirmations by going to Amazon, searching for 100 Affirmations Pain, my current book, 100 Daily Affirmations for Positivity and Confidence, are there as well. Also, get the latest book from the Big Words Project that's there as well. Finally, a celebration. Today is Canada Day. So let's not forget the Canadians out there celebrating their independence. So Canada Day is there. But we're going to give some love to Ginger Snap Day. National Ginger Snap Day is today, celebrating sweet and savory cookie treat containing molasses, cloves, ginger, cinnamon, and brown sugar. The combination of sweet and spicy has long been enjoyed for generations, and we're going to show and can show you why on this Ginger Snap Day. Shouldn't have pasted that part of the thing. Sidebar: back in my college days, we actually ran a tour from a college radio station for some kids coming in for a summer camp. And, cookies are great. So I bought them ginger snaps because everyone loves ginger snaps. And then one of my coworkers, a nice young lady who's one of my great friends now, was like, "What's wrong with you, Payne? Kids don't like ginger snaps. Give them chocolate chips." And then I married a woman who doesn't like chocolate chips. So I guess I was right. Well, I guess. But, she's always right because she's the wife, so it works that way. It's also Creative Ice Cream Flavor Day, so if ginger snaps aren't your thing and you're not Canadian, get yourself some sort of weird flavored ice cream and enjoy that because it's hot. It's definitely really, really hot. We said we bring up the supporters, our sponsors, our partners. I'm going to bring up real quick again. The cup of coffee level, that's $5 a month, is Harold Braxton, Colby Green, and Elton Kidd. Those three are subscribed at that level. And the spare change, it's just $1 a month, is Joy Winters, a very new person who joined literally days after Operation Chaos began, to just show some love and some support while things are getting back up to place. We'll talk more Operation Chaos later because we're going really long on this thing here. But thank you so much for these folks as partners, and shout out to them. If you want to be a partner, as we say, go to our website, click on the partnerships link. It is, of course, This is conversationproject.com/partnerships, and find ways that you can help give to us directly. If you just want to give something in a one shot, you can do that as well. You can also just buy from one of our sponsors. That helps us out. All sponsors are affiliate links, but check them out going forward because we can use the help. We'll go in deeper detail as we see how well Kyber Chaos is working because Mondays run long and we have a lot of stuff to do getting back in the swing of things. But since we're done and we've shot it out and did done the things and the mouth's not working, Monday, July 1st, 2024, done for the day. I am Jay Cleveland Payne. Thank you so much for being with us. If you hadn't seen us for a while, it's because we hadn't been here in succession. We're trying to get them rust off. We got some new situations, some new setups around the place, so hopefully it'll help things go out going forward. And we will love your feedback. Email us, conversationinbox@gmail.com. Let us know if you missed us or want us to go back away. Let us know what sort of worked today and what didn't work, because we're going to be working some tweaks all week long. We're going to do this all 5 days this week. We're not going anywhere for the 4th because we're back into the house. Don't want to go anywhere. So we're going to be here 5 days this week, holidays, slow news days permitting. So it's like that. Stay hydrated, stay limber, stay on task for all the grand things you're here to do, and just keep being you. Love you, mean it. Thank you for allowing me to look through different ways because I have a script in front of me and cameras here and everything's all over the place. Thank you for being you. Thank you to all our partners. Thank you for people who just send us emails. Thank you for folks who paid attention today. We'll see you again. Lord willing, creek don't rise and tornadoes don't come through the house tomorrow.